Welcome back, another episode. Given that they are on the back of a freight truck in England when the hour begins, it appears that Adilah decided to put her trust in Imogen. After taking over the car, they end up being pursued by a helicopter and numerous Canterbury police officers. The women parted ways, agreeing to meet again at the cathedral. As they chase and ultimately lose the pair, Max and Malik get into a shoving brawl back at the DGSE. Imogen strikes up a discussion with an elderly woman seated in a pew within the cathedral. Imogen relates a heartbreaking tale about Adilah's tragedy and her desperation to escape. "I would do God's work if I had a car," Imogen replies solemnly. The woman Imogen chose views their contact as a supernatural intervention because Imogen is so adept at her work, and she offers to drive them to London. However, as a result of a contact she made earlier, a car arrives and Imogen extends an invitation to Adilah to get inside. She says, "Welcome to the deep state. We're headed to Michael's." Of course, Michael is the enigmatic man from Imogen's past that we have yet to meet. Imogen fills Adilah in as they leave for his country house via car. Although he was extremely off-book, Michael was also MI6. Creating new identities for people is his specialty. I told him about a friend of mine who has to start over in order to start a new life. At last, the vehicle stops in front of an opulent residence, and Michael emerges to welcome his visitors. Law enforcement appears to be calling for Adilah to be kept alive, while Imogen is being pursued in a lethal manner. Then he leaves them alone, saying their passports will be ready in a few hours. Since Imogen is already suspicious, she assigns Adilah the duty of sneaking out to the garage and obtaining the Land Rover's keys since she believes they may have to flee quickly. Max and Malik visit Imogen's London residence in the meantime. Following some arguments, Malik acknowledges that he believes he knows where Imogen is. He's going to stand by her side, and he won't let Max leave unless he promises to do the same. Max answers in the affirmative. Malik tells Max everything about Michael and how Imogen fell in love with him during their trip. Malik claims he's not jealous of the older man, despite Max's assumption to the contrary. "Are you certain about that?" Max irritates. Adilah is in the garage when Imogen breaks into Michael's office and discovers he has been watching her and the circumstances all along. Photographs of her with Adilah, pictures of Emir the sniper, pictures from the camp, and notes from the book of Jinn that Adilah had shown her earlier in the season are all included. Fearful, Imogen promptly calls someone, but it's unclear who she calls first, and then she asks Adilah if she has any information on possible Russian involvement in the terror plot. She confirms that she did hear Russian on the phone and that she was driven out of Raqqa by a Russian truck. Imogen reiterates her commitment to arrange for Adilah and her daughter to take a flight, but she demands that Adilah tell me the name of the ship. Adilah won't comply unless Yasmina is present. While they converse, we also find out that Yasmina was the result of Adilah being gang raped after she fled and was apprehended after the foiled hotel explosion. Michael addresses Imogen as silly girl and nicknames her Violet during supper in the opulent dining room. "Why did she come back?" he asks. She practically seems to be defying him when she asks, "I want you to tell me the truth about my father." I've never understood why they would kill a British diplomat unless they had proof that he had committed a crime worthy of death in my entire life. He was employed by the Russians, she surmises, and I think you knew. Adilah receives a text from Emir when she is upstairs, and she grabs the phone that will set off the ship's bomb in a few hours. Max and Malik emerge onto the property and approach the home with their weapons drawn. Eventually, they manage to get inside. Imogen also changes into a slinky crimson nightgown in her former bedroom. The following section occurs swiftly and concurrently. After jumping and stabbing Patrick, Adilah flees, only to run into Max. Patrick shoots from where he's bleeding out behind him and hits Max as he talks her down and puts his weapon down. Adilah sprints. Returning to London, Imogen gives Yasmina and her aunt a bear hug before sending them on their way to Canada, promising to personally ensure their safety. Her phone then buzzes. She looks at the departure board and adds, "I'll be there in a few hours. What do I call myself now?" For more videos, subscribe.